happy Tuesday, everybody. Joy and I are finally able to come back and give you guys a show. Yes, we have been really busy. We're drowning with everything that we have to do. Our shelter is
packed.
Beyond packed.
Beyond packed.
But it's better since borders have kind of lit up a little bit, so.
And that's going to be kind of the little bit of the theme of our show tonight. Because we've, this summer has been really, really packed with borders. We've done our absolute best trying to keep up with, providing space for those people who need boarding. And so I think our largest number of boarders was 32 in one day. That's 32. Now our boarding room has room for like 12, so that meant coming up with an extra 20 spaces for our boarders, okay? So we really do try to our very best to help all of our members.
This was a record high for us.
This was a record high. Then of course we've had a record high number of intakes like from last year, a record high number of adoptions from last year. And we've had, this year looks like it's going to be pretty much the same.
Yes.
So we're going to start though, okay? Well, anyway, so the topic for tonight is now that boarding is slowing down because everybody's going back to school, okay? So so we want to try and talk about going back to school and what that entails with the bunnies.
Yes, but before we start, I want to remind you to like, share, and follow. We are so close to hitting 70,000, and
amazing.
Oh my gosh,
amazing!
You guys would make me so happy if we could get there. And that's how you can help us, by sharing, because that helps them get adopted into new homes because you're spreading it out to other people. I don't know how else to say it, but they don't know about our shelter, and the more you share, the more people they share, and then the more bunnies we get adopted.
Right.
So we're very happy about that. And some of you had asked me about the bunny of the week. So we have a bunny that we want to share with you guys, and Joy will tell you the history on it. She's not spayed yet, but this is our bunny of the week, and she's very sweet, and she will be up for adoption soon.
Right.
So I got to turn this down a little bit.
So
I used my
everybody can see her. All right.
My phone this time, guys.
She's probably just about now getting to the age where she can be spayed, but she was somebody again. Obviously got a baby bunny, didn't either know what to do with it or the children got tired of it, one of those types of situations, and just turned her loose, okay? And our team went out and caught her, and she, in fact, this was quite a ways out. I'm trying to think, we went way out 44 to get her, and the bus driver had actually seen her on the side of the road.
She was,
oh my gosh, she was only this big,
yeah.
Okay? She was maybe,
so tiny.
8 weeks old at the time.
Yeah.
And so this bus driver, now she can't stop because she's got a busload of kids, And she puts it on, they're lost, out there. Has anybody lost a bunny? It's right out here near the highway and between the highway and the outer road, and it's gonna get hit and blah, blah. And of course somebody connects them with us. And we went out and, Bob and I went out, but Bob, as usual, caught this bunny, okay? So at any rate, get her back, and there's lumps all over her, okay? And it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on with her? So we ended up, she went into the vet, of course, and we knew what was wrong. She had cuterebra. And of course, you've seen our show we had to show the pictures, and
bad.
Big cuterebra all around her neck. So they all had to be surgically removed, okay? And then so this is really gross because we had to continue to pick off all the scabs so that nothing grew back, so that she didn't get infection in all of those cuterebra holes.
Then you went on vacation, and my Thursday morning gal was doing meds, and she called me and she said, there's like a boil or something on that bunny's neck.
Yes.
And I said, well, put your finger on it and see if it's moving. She's like, are you kidding? No. So she does it and she goes, oh my gosh, it's moving. And because that's what Renee told me to do. And sure enough, she had another one. And we had to take her back to Hope that day and have another one removed.
Right. So this poor little girl
How
has
many?
just been through the ringer.
How many did she end up
I
having?
think she ended up with 6.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, all told. Because
Ugh.
there was originally 4 removed, and then there was another one found, and then while I was gone, you found another one. So I'm pretty sure it was 6 all told. But her fur is now, as you can see, it's finally growing back in.
She looks so good.
And she's loving attention now that she's not having people constantly, pick at her, poor thing.
Yes.
And she just thinks, this attention is just one of the best things in the whole world.
She's a sweetheart.
Yes.
And the black bunnies and the all white bunnies, they always get overlooked.
Yep.
But I want you to know, she is a sweetheart.
She is.
It doesn't matter that she's a jet black baby because look at this. Look at the face.
Okay.
Look at that nose.
I know. She says,
She's gonna
"Put it
make
down."
somebody a wonderful
Yes. Uh-huh.
addition.
She is.
Okay.
Just absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So we're gonna let her run around the table a little bit until Michael's able to come back
Yes,
and pick
and
her
I'm
up.
going to adjust this a little bit so Joy and I are not looking funny on here.
Okay.
Oh, that's better. So let's quick answer some of the questions. Mrs. Hill is watching, one of our biggest supporters on here. So hi, Mrs. Hill. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Karen is watching. Hello, Karen. Mrs. Hill wants to know how much we charge for boarding.
It is a members only thing, just so people are aware of that. Our permit with St. Louis County does not allow us to be open to the public. So we do a tremendous amount of things for our members, and providing, making boarding available is one of them. So boarding for a single bunny is $12 per night, and if you're dropping off on a weekday night, that weekday night is free. Okay, and if you have a pair of bunnies, a bonded pair of bunnies in the same cage, it's $14. If you have a bonded trio in the same cage or pen, it's $16. So you can't get a deal like that anywhere. I mean,
No.
how much does it cost you to have your dog at the kennel?
Correct.
And then before they go home, they get their nails trimmed and their sink glands cleaned. And, if
get a
they
little
need
spa
medicine, we don't
treatment.
charge any additional if they need medication while they're here. All of those things. So we ask that our members, one, that they are up to date on their membership. 2, that we want to make sure that that bunny is coming in healthy. It's going to be around other boarding bunnies. So we want to make sure that, for everybody's sake, that is a healthy bunny.
Yes.
That you have an account with a veterinarian, because should an emergency occur, then we need to have a place to take that bunny. If we don't, it's like people don't really think about that. This is a legal issue for the veterinarians.
Yes.
Okay. So we want to make sure that the bunny does have a place to go, and is current. So that's with our boarding, and we provide the food unless it's a pelleted food that we don't carry, and we try to carry all of the good ones. We provide greens, although we usually give out those greens probably every other day, and some people want to make sure their bunnies have it every day. So they'll bring
Yes.
in bags of greens for us. Then we put a tag on the bunny's cage, so we know that we're the bunny's getting hi. Okay, all of those things. So yeah, we try to make sure. And if the bunny's going to be here, say more than 6-7 days, then we try to make sure it's in a pen, so that
To
the
get
bunny
exercise.
is not in a. And of course we use the 48-inch crates with shelves or
And
tops that they can
our
get on
volunteers
and
are
on.
so good about getting the bunnies out and making sure they get exercise. So Ron is saying hello from Ears Rabbit Rescue in PA.
Hi.
That's awesome. Of course, Judy's giving Bob all the comments. Bot flies we talked about. Oh, this bunny was caught in Gray Summit on Highway
Yeah.
MM. We do not neuter bunnies at our shelter, but we can give you veterinarians that do it in
Right.
several areas. So honestly, if you go to our Facebook page and on the top, it has about or whatever, and then it says guides, click on the guides. And if you look down further, it'll say veterinarians we recommend. Hit that and it'll pull up all the veterinarians
That we know about
that
you
do
know,
bunnies.
right. And so we try to make sure that, these veterinarians, have attended conferences, that they are qualified. Some we've personally, interviewed. We try to, like I said, we try to make sure that, that they're, to the best of our knowledge, they are qualified.
sister.
Yeah, she's decided she likes the cords that are laying on the table.
Yeah, she's just checking them out.
See, I'm just moving around and having a good
Just
time.
being safe.
Say yes.
Just being
So,
safe.
and no walking on the keyboard either.
So they want to know what is the best way to make an appointment for nail trims and a booty shave. You can message us on Facebook Messenger and we can set an appointment up.
You can do it that way. On our website, there's a contact us. Most people are just going in there, contacting us, and saying right off the bat, I need to set up an appointment for a nail trim. It is difficult for us to do same day trims because usually by the time the messages are seen by the person who's handling email, and then sends.
Whoa!
Okay.
Yep.
It's like-
Sorry, we need to scoot back by
Okay.
Miss Joy over here,
Okay,
girl.
come on back over here.
You're having
sweetheart.
just too much fun.
Yes. All right. So then,
And then the whole thing
Mess
went,
up.
oh, sorry guys.
cattywampus. Okay. Well, that's the issues with going live. Okay.
Hey,
you have to
it's
put up
all
with
about
the
having
things
a bunny.
we put up with. Yes.
Now
and,
you see.
Yeah.
It's
You have
just-
to roll
we go
with
with
it.
it.
You just
yeah.
have to roll with it.
We go with it here.
So anyway, we just want to make, like I said, make sure that that we have everything as
Yeah.
as possible for everybody.
One more question is, what rabbit conferences do you recommend attending? Because Ms. Hill now is volunteering at a rescue in Colorado.
Aha.
So
Okay.
she would like to know that information.
Generally, go in and look at the conference schedule. Look at the classes, okay? Because I have seen some conferences where there's maybe one or none rabbit classes. That's really not going to help you. If you're really looking at rabbit conferences. Now, this is another issue. You need to be either a veterinarian or a vet technician in order, or in school for one or the other, in order to go to these conferences. They're not open to the public. And so, but if you're, if you qualify for any of that, then look at the, like I said, look at the schedule. One of the big ones now, I'm going like in a week and a half now, is the Exotics Con, which this year is being held in Nashville, Tennessee. And it's an all exotics conference. So they do have a good number of rabbit classes, in that conference. But
That's a
there's,
good
I
one.
was gonna say, just go online, look at veterinary conferences, okay? I think NAV is the one down in Miami that usually has some pretty good classes because that's, they do a lot of exotics. But that's your big thing, is making sure that it's got a conference that's got good exotic classes on rabbits. So that, and it takes a long time to get enough classes because you figure you have one class on maybe anesthesia, one class on maybe breaks or X-rays, or how many classes does it take before they can do molars, spurs, and spays and neuters that are a little bit different? Bully osteotomy. I mean, all these things that happen, it takes a long time.
Yes, it does. Okay, we better get moving on.
On our subject?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so Joy was saying we're gonna do going back to school, and I would like to just share this one quick story. Is I had a young lady, she's a senior, contact me in April, and she knew she was going to college, and her parents said they wouldn't keep her bunny, and she was devastated. And this poor girl was working 2 jobs to help put herself through college, and she would periodically check in. She sent me pictures. The bunny was adorable. It was about this big and a lot mixed. Free roam, didn't chew, used its potty box, and I thought, and it was 5. She had it since it was 6 weeks old. and neutered already. She did her research. So the summer went on, and the beginning of August, she started messaging me again and said my parents still say they won't keep my bunny. So she wanted to keep it up until the night before she left for college, which was the 12th. And on that Sunday, she messaged me and I said, this is what I would do. I would go to my parents and say, I have been working so hard through school, earning money to help put myself through college and do all these things, and I'm just begging you to keep my bunny until I can take it with me, which you can't do it the first year. And she
The first couple
texted,
of years.
well,
Why
I
not a
guess
dorm?
wherever she's at, you only have to stay in a dorm the first year.
Oh, okay.
And then she can take her bunny. And she messaged me back 2 hours later and said, it worked! My mom said I can leave and keep my bunny. So, oh my gosh, that made me so happy. So that was my story going back to school when you have bunnies.
Yes.
I was so proud of this young lady, so.
Well, and she wanted to keep her bunny. This
Oh,
is, you know,
she
this
was
is, you know,
so,
a really good,
Yes.
situation. So it's like, yes, I
Aw.
know.
You guys.
It's really, really going to be a wonderful bunny here.
No.
Okay, so there's various aspects of going back to school. Yeah. And of course, we're wanting everybody to keep their bunny. Don't get rid of your bunny because you're going, back to school type of thing. So so when you're going back to school, we're usually thinking right now, this first segment of going back to grade school, middle school, high school. Okay, so you're home. The bunny is still home. Okay. And so one of the things you want to think about is that bunny's routine going to be altered because of you being in school? And you want to figure out, if you have to figure out a new routine, this is fine, but then you want to stick to that routine. They really, really do prefer having a routine,
Mine is on a tight schedule, and if you
Yes.
don't keep the tight schedule, you're gonna know about
they
it.
let you know about it too, yes. So that's that. And then keep a checklist, okay? Especially if different people are doing different things. So this is not an uncommon situation in a home. One child is supposed to do maybe the water bowls in the morning. Maybe one child is supposed to be sure the bunny gets greens when they come home from school. Maybe one child has to do the litter box. Do a checklist, okay? Put on that checklist when it needs to be done, who's supposed to be doing it, and initialing it when that's done and the date. So it's done on time. If somebody's forgotten something, oh my gosh, I had homework, I forgot. It's there. You know that the bunny still needs, so when it's checked in the evening, something still needs to be done, okay?
You know what else you can do?
What?
Is if you have an Alexa or
Oh.
even an iHome, whatever, I don't exactly know what they call them, but I set alarms on mine. So say, because
Oh, yeah.
I'm not here tonight, and my daughter will be the one taking care of everything. So on Tuesdays, Alexa has an alarm telling Stephanie, time to feed the rabbit.
Yep.
Don't forget to let the dogs out before you go to bed.
Yes.
So that's a great tool to use.
It is,
And
yeah.
that's how
Okay.
I do it.
I'm just gonna make a notation here. This is, okay. When, it's not the dog that eats your homework, it's the bunny that truly eats your homework.
And
Okay.
that's really happened,
So,
so.
Right, yep, because she's going, oh, this paper is fun, all right. So then, we want to make sure that's all done. Figure out a schedule for playtime. The bunny, just because you're going off to school doesn't mean the bunny doesn't need to still have playtime. Get out of that cage, run. It's so important for a variety of, health issues and behavior issues.
So
So.
I have a trick for that too. I
Perfect.
had a family that said I have to give my bunny up because we don't have time for the bunny when we start school. The mom and dad both work,
Okay.
and they had 2 kids. And I said, well, you're gonna give it more time than it would get from going into a shelter. And I said, things you can do. In the morning when you wake up, let the bunny out. Let it run while you guys are all getting ready and eat breakfast. Perfect way to do it. When you get home and you're cooking and you're folding your laundry, let the bunny out. mine, whenever I filled up my stack of wash rags, he yanks them and makes me do it over again. That's a great time. Another thing that you can do is when you are watching TV in the evening as a family, every commercial, everyone's switch is sitting on the floor giving the bunny attention. That way everybody's doing it, the whole family is participating. You watch an hour show, you know how many commercials are in an hour. That bunny's getting a ton of attention in that hour, and that bunny stayed in the home, and I was told that it was leaving the wash rags alone when she was folding the laundry.
Fantastic. And do your homework laying on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Yeah, that you're down there on the floor, and the bunny loves having you down there on their level. So they can just, just scooch out. In fact, right now, this bunny is just flattened out. As fast as
Completely
she can.
flattened
Just
out.
flattened out. So she's like, so here I am, pet me. So anyway, it's just a matter of, yes, you can do all of these things. That was one of the things I managed to do with my first bunny, was trying to get enough exercise time for her. Was I said, my husband left for work at 6:30 in the morning. I didn't need to leave until 8. So I would get her out and bring her into the bedroom. I don't want to look all over the house for her when it's time to put her away, and let her run in our bedroom while I'm getting ready for work. And she was very, very cooperative. In fact, said, was one of my old stories. She'd like to play on the bed. She'd jump up there. So all I had to do was pick her up off the bed, put her back in her house, and head out for work. Yeah.
It is just incredible what
Right.
those little bits of time.
Yes, and we
Makes
always
a
tell
big
people,
difference.
it's not a good idea, for the bunnies to be housed in a child's room. That's another whole, subject. But it doesn't mean the bunny can't play in the child's room. So if the child's, desk is in their room or something of that nature, just make sure the bunny has lots of, toys or things to, run around in there, and that the room is bunny-proofed. But I always tell people, it's just like the family dog. There's no, a lot of times the family dog will follow you into your room or whatever. So the bunny can go in there too. They just shouldn't, live in there. Yeah.
And that's a great thing, because our bunny, when all the grandkids are over, I have the rugs that go, because he can't walk on smooth floor. I will get, Grandma, come here. And mine goes in the room with the kids, jumps up on the bed, and is laying next to him, getting petted, whether playing a video game or watching TV.
Right. Yeah.
It's those little things make a big difference.
And of course, just like when the bunny's home and alone and, it's all bored, be sure that the bunny has lots of things to occupy its time. It has chew things there. It has play things there. You don't like to be bored, so just make sure that bunny's not bored. And finally, if the bunny is going to be spending a lot of time alone, think about getting a bond mate, okay? That bunny has a friend while you're gone. So that's,
And that's another subject too that I could go forever on.
Oh, yeah,
about
that's a
keeping your
whole-
bunnies busy, because a bored bunny is a bunny that gets in trouble, but a busy bunny is a happy bunny.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay, this next one really goes along with your first story. Going away to college, the parents are watching the bunny, okay? We have several very dedicated volunteers right now because their child went away to college and they ended up watching the bunny and they fell in love with the bunny. They never expected to, but now they're dedicated volunteers. So, the whole thing about, if your child is, going away, be sure you get all of the information if you've not been involved, with that bunny, all the information that, that you need, to know, that what food, what hay, when it's being given, how much the bunny should eat, when the litter box needs to be changed, what kind of litter that you're using. Establish that exercise routine so that, again, the bunny does have to still get out. Whether you're, like I said, folding laundry, fixing dinner, watching TV, there's all kinds of times where that bunny can get out and spend time with you, okay? So you want to still make sure that you give that bunny lots of attention, because that bunny's going to actually be grieving if that child's gone.
I always tell that story with my daughter when she was getting ready to go to college. She had Snowy, do you remember?
I remember the story about Snowy.
He only loved her.
Oh my gosh, it was ridiculous.
It was really bad. He would stick his nose down in her stinky tennis shoes because it smelled like her.
And he missed her.
Yes, he would pull her sheets off the bed and wrap himself in it.
Yeah.
Because it was her.
And don't anybody else bother touching him because he wasn't interested in anybody else.
He chased my mom out of the room, and she tried to leap over a baby gate and
Yeah.
face
Anyway,
planted.
lots of stories we have. So anyway, yes.
What I ended up doing is I started getting him a bondmate. It was before she left for college. I started 6 months before she left for college to help him transition better.
Having a friend.
And I was able to do it, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, most of these things aren't. Once you really just get started doing something, they really aren't as, as bad.
It was the best thing I
Yeah.
could have done.
So, when you're new at this, and of course, we offer our 101 class. If anybody's interested in, coming, we, always are more than happy to have people come. All of our education is free. And so, but a good thing for a parent to understand is, keep a really close eye on the litter box, okay? They can produce between 100 and 300 poops per day, but they also need to be nice formed, poops. Yeah. And so if you start seeing them getting fewer or smaller and harder, that means the gut motility slowing down. That can be a major, major health issue. You start seeing them getting goopy. Anything that, starts going on, that's a really, really big indicator, that can alert you, to something going on. So you want to watch, that litter box, and of course make sure that litter box is changed at least twice a week. Bunnies do not like dirty litter boxes, and sometimes if you don't keep them clean, they'll empty them for you, okay? So then you want to make sure that you are aware of the veterinary schedule, where the veterinarian is located, and that bunny goes again in every 6 months for that exam, okay? That should not stop just because the child is away at college or it's scheduled when the child's home on break. It's just a matter that bunny really, really needs to, have that exam, and that are familiar with where the veterinarian is located. So if there are any kind of medical issues, you know exactly who to call and where to take that bunny. Okay. So, and then again, when you're not away from the house, lots of things to occupy that bunny's time. Chew items, play items. They've got a full rack of hay, or they need their body size in hay every day. And if you're having problems with keeping as much attention to that bunny as the bunny needs, consider a bondmate again. So we help people walk through that. So lots of things like that. Okay.
Yeah, it was the best thing for me with my daughter leaving. So
before we go on to the next part, do we have any other questions going on?
We have a big thank you from Mary. We watched her bunny, formerly Bam Bam.
Yes.
She wanted to thank us for taking such great care of him while she was out of town.
The most wonderful bunny. Oh my gosh. Just, just an absolute sweetheart, So if you're thinking about a bondmate, I would look at this little girl because she's pretty much, she's a lot like him. So, any others? Are we ready for the next part?
We're caught up.
Okay. All right. So the final segment of this is the bunny is going to college. Okay. This is a tough one because, young people don't often realize how extremely tied up they are when they get to school. Oh my gosh. So generally speaking, that's one of the reasons why the schools want the students in a dorm to start. Because you're away from home, you really don't have a clue about schedules, and you're getting things, started and all of these sort of things. So at least you're not trying to deal with cleaning, an apartment or paying rent and things like that. So now you've got, so say in your dorm, and you really, not too many places allow them in the dorms, but I know there's a few of them. So you've got to take these things into consideration. So determine, first of all, you've got the ride to college and home from college. So you've got to make sure that you have a carrier that is comfortable for that bunny. Now, we did a whole segment on traveling with your bunny. So we're not going to try to repeat all of that. You can go back and find that, or you can just, text or message us, and we can, forward you a sheet of paper that's talking about traveling with your bunny, because we have a handout for that. But you want to make sure that the bunny, is, you've got to take in consideration the bunny's going to be comfortable, the carrier is, locked into place. how long are you going to be in that car? How far away is that college, okay? Because you cannot leave that bunny alone. You're headed back to school in August. It's hot. You gonna just leave the bunny in the car while you go in that burger joint or something and have lunch and come out and have a bunny that's just died from, heat exhaustion?
It is no different than leaving a child in a car.
No, this is your penny. So you want to take all of these things into consideration. You may just have to drive through that fast food place and get something that's easy to eat, because otherwise your parents are going to be, don't tell them to eat while they're driving. Yeah, we don't want you distracted driving, either. Get something and stay in the car with your bunny. Go park under a tree where it's shady. Keep the air conditioning running. Whatever you need to do so that, that you are safe and the bunny is safe. Make sure that the bunny, has a dripless water bottle so that it, has water, or that you're giving it water when you stop. So again, a lot of these things are, in that traveling, with your bunny. So when you're setting up, you've got to make sure that, these dorm rooms aren't really, really big. Your bunny needs room, okay? So figure out how much room your bunny is going to get in your dorm room. You don't want this little tiny cage. You're going to end up with a bunny that is sick or gets aggressive, not happy. So they need to be able to, move, have a space to roam around. You still have to bunny proof that room so the bunny can still, run. You need to be sure that your roommate, if you have one, is going to be okay with this bunny in this same room, and that they're bunny proofing their things. I mean, heaven forbid that, they plug in their laptop or something and your bunny chews their cord. Okay?
I can envision that.
Yes, exactly. I mean, all of these things, we just think. We simply want people to really, really think about all this. So now you've got that, and it's got to have, sufficient space. It still has to have sufficient attention. And again, write down that schedule. Sometimes, you are going to be you may be up all night long doing a homework project, okay? It's college, been there, done that, okay? And so what's happening to the bunny, okay? It can't stop eating just because you're pulling an all-nighter for your homework, okay? So all of these things, keep that little checklist if you need, for that. Try to remember to keep that bunny on that routine. Just because you're in school and your schedule may be all over the, who knows, all over the map, doesn't mean that bunny's schedule needs to be all over the map. Because if that's the case, if it's really a difficult situation, the bunny should stay at home, okay? We know everybody likes to have their pet with them, but it is a major, major challenge to try to keep up with your school life, your social life, and, and that bunny. Okay, and then you're taking care of that dorm. I mean, you still have to keep your dorm clean. You have to do your clothes, laundry, all of that, sort of thing. So you need to build in time to spend time with your bunny. That bunny doesn't understand how much homework you have to do or when your classes are scheduled. That bunny is expecting you to spend time with it. Okay, you've got to build that into your schedule. Okay. So, let's see, keep the appropriate food stock, make sure that you're not running out. A lot of times students they get their food when they're at home. Make sure you are taking back enough with you to last until your next trek home. I know it could be, I think some of the schools have a fall break, then they have Thanksgiving, they have winter break, they have spring break, all of these things, so it's a matter of making sure that you're taking advantage of those. If you're getting those supplies when you're at home, that you're getting all of those, and that you have room in your car. I mean, think about it. What if you've got that 40-pound bag of litter that you're trying to take back? Oh, I got to take 3 bags with me. That's a lot of space in the trunk of your car or in the back seat. But depending on where you're located, you may be able to find a local place, a feed store or something that does carry, say, the wood pellets, or the local pet store that has the paper pelleted litter, that's for you. So, remember to keep your bunny in your budget, okay? So that budget for getting pizza and all of that stuff, the greens for the bunny, all of those things, that has to be built into your budget. So you want to make sure you keep, things like that. And then you want to, hit that one.
Which one?
The one on, making sure that you are still having a rabbit-savvy vet where you're located.
Yes, so I was just talking to someone about this today, and so my bunny travels with me, and what I did is I went to rabbit.org, and I looked at where the bunny vets were in Wisconsin, because that's where I was going. And I emailed and said to the Wisconsin group, and I said, "What vet do you use for your bunnies?" Because then I know that's a good bunny vet. And it turned out they were 45 minutes away from my dad and brother.
Oh,
So
cool.
I already had my plan before I even left. You know,
Yeah,
if
that's
something
great.
happened. So go to rabbit.org and see if there's a vet close to where you're going prior to leaving for college.
Prior to leaving, okay, this
Yes.
is a big, big issue. So look this up ahead of time.
It is. I plan ahead when I travel with him because I won't just take him to anybody. And I'm very picky anyway about my pets and their veterinarian. So I just decided to do that, and it worked out great.
And contact them. One of the big
Yeah.
things is that you want to set up an account with that veterinarian's office. If there's an emergency, situation, like I said, with the parents, you need to have an account if you're watching that bunny, because they can't see your bunny unless you have an account with them. It's a
Right.
legal issue. And you don't want to wait, if you're taking your bunny after school with you, to have an emergency, and oh my gosh, now you're frantically trying to find a veterinarian.
Yes.
And right now, it's really tough.
It is. And I also suggest that you contact the veterinarian your bunny's at right now and tell them that you're taking him to school with you,
Yeah.
or even on vacation, and that you had talked to this vet and this vet's a clinic. That way they can call each other. That's what I wanted. So
Yes, they
they
can get
can
your
call
records.
and say, "Hey, I'm seeing your patient. I just want you to know whatever." But that's me because I'm very picky, but that's a great idea, I think.
Oh, you really, truly need to have this set up, ahead
Yeah.
of time. We had one of our adopters who, the bunny was going off to college with the daughter, and she did exactly that. They researched, they looked at all the stuff, they found one that was, rabbit savvy, close to their school, set up an account, and, and then of course, another thing you can do with all the veterinarians being really busy is call now, okay? If they're, that bunny's 6-month checkup is going to be somewhere, October, November, December type of thing. Schedule it for when the child is home, for Thanksgiving break or this winter break, whatever. Now it's already scheduled, and you're not trying to scramble getting an appointment. Oh my gosh, we need to get one while she's home or while
Yes.
he's home, And it's like, no, set it up now. Set up, for spring. You can set these appointments out really far out, okay? And just make sure that you've got them.
And your veterinarian here can send all the records to the new one. And it's not that you have to leave this one, but like
No.
I said, communicating with them, they know you're going to be flip-flopping between the two of them, and
Right.
it works out great.
It really does. So, and that's, and the veterinarians will appreciate it too, that they have a chance, to talk to each other. The one, can get information from the other. And, we talk about, the rabbit savvy vets. It's really, really important because it's not that dog or cat veterinarian is a bad veterinarian, not at all. It's just that they don't teach about rabbits in veterinary school. They teach about 2 hours worth on norm. And so that veterinarian is not going to be familiar with molar spurs or a cecum, okay? That type of thing. The dog doesn't excrete excess calcium through their bladder, so they don't have bladder sludge. All of these things that can go on, and you want somebody who is familiar, like I said, with what a rabbit normally is and what a rabbit
Yes.
normally needs. So then there again, you've got to figure out, if you are going back and forth, say, coming home again for the holidays or whatever, do not leave that bunny behind. That bunny is not somebody else's responsibility. You need to bring the bunny back home with you, okay? Because that person may not be, very knowledgeable about bunnies, may not realize the bunny is sick. That person may, be frantically trying to get the bunny in for an emergency, and they don't have, if the authorization wasn't left there or a credit card payment wasn't left. Bring your bunny home.
And not only that, they're not used to having the bunny.
Right.
So they
They
could
forget.
forget about it. Or what if that person gets sick?
Yes, and I can't take care of the bunny. At least at home, there's more than just you at home. And then, of course, we want to make sure that you give that bunny lots of things to occupy them, whether you're home or whether it's school. And again, think about a bond mate. If you really are having a tough time, providing enough attention to that bunny, think about a bond mate. It's just one of those things.
I highly recommend it. I will be doing that soon with the one I have at home because I'm super busy right now with my grandkids and the sports, and I know that he wants more attention. So he's gonna start dating soon.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm not sure how the whole camping thing will go with a new one, but hey, I go with it. I go with it.
So,
I got to give it a shot.
So we have any other questions, or are we? Because we're a
so
little over our time slot.
yes. So Amanda Joya, is that your daughter-in-law?
It is.
She thinks you are a superstar.
Well, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it.
Think the same thing. So Amanda, you and I are on the same page when it comes to that. And they think our background is beautiful.
Why don't you tilt that up so you can actually see the whole thing? If you can actually end up doing it a little bit. Okay.
There
Yes,
it is.
it's actually a rug, and there's bunnies, all really huge bunnies in there, and some big flowers. And the room that we have in here, the education room, is a turquoise color, and the whole room is got that curtain. And this means it just pops on this wall.
It does. It's beautiful. And usually we use my laptop so you can get more of that background, but we're trying my phone because it's a better picture.
Yeah. So all of these little things that simply that we try, and so yes, and just speaking of this, totally irrelevant to all the bunny stuff. But since my daughter-in-law's, there, I had lunch, Tom and I had lunch today with our grandson because he's going off to college.
Is this his first or second year?
This is his second year. And so before he we won't see him until fall break, and so he just went out with Grandma and Grandpa for lunch today.
That's so
and
special.
He doesn't have to take a pet with him because they have 2 King Charles Cavalier Spaniels.
Woo.
And you've heard me, some of the people have already, I tell this with me all the time. If you want something to sit in your lap, get a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. They think that is their life's work to sit in your lap. They will follow you around waiting for a lap, okay? If you're looking for a bunny to sit in your lap, forget it. Most of them will not, They may want attention, and in fact, as long as I was petting this little girl, she was laying here. As soon as I stopped, because I talk with my hands a lot,
Same.
she's off, roaming around because she's not interested in sitting here. They don't like sitting in a lap. They like, they like to move. They like attention. And for a rabbit, being picked up is the same thing as being captured. Captured means dead. So they're not, say here's
She
a
just
pet my
came.
head.
Yeah, she just
I could
came.
end up seeing this. She's here, pet my head. Yeah.
Now, you will get some bunnies that are just like a dog. They're big. It's the big white bunnies.
Oh my gosh.
What it is.
A lot of them.
You all, if you have followed me in Joy, I have a thing for the big white pink-eyed bunnies. And I always advocate for them because they're great bunnies. And
They are.
the majority of them will just climb up,
No.
love on you, sit on the couch and watch TV with you.
And if
the
you
majority
have
of them.
young children,
They're the best.
they are generally so good with young children. Now again, it's not an absolute,
Right.
But most of these bunnies, they're chill. Okay,
They
they don't get as upset easily by the children's motions or squealing. They're more forgiving, and of course they're a little bigger. So it's like I always tell people, you don't get a teacup Chihuahua for a 3-year-old.
Right.
You want a beagle, a golden retriever, something that can work with that child.
And Elena, who normally comes with me and volunteers, she's been with me since she was 6 weeks old.
Yes.
So she grew up with my big white bunny, and she loved it. They'd be making pallets on the floor to watch a movie, and he would be right up between the kids, laying on his side, And if it was shedding season, Miss Elena would have white fur all over her from
yes.
all the petting. He was great with kids. So anyway, that was just my little plug about the big white bunnies. If you're wanting that type of a,
Yeah, family pet.
that is the one to go to.
Yeah. So, all right. I
Okay.
think we've covered it. If there's any other
think
questions
so.
before we head out?
Let me quick get back down here. Oh, Sally Hancock agrees that you're an amazing person.
Thank you, Sally. Yeah.
Like I said, we all
We've been
think
working
alike.
together for a while. Yeah.
They love the rug. This one is sending our best from Annie in the UK and Buddy and Pip, Pip, the house bunnies. Oh,
Thank you. Thank you
hello.
for watching.
Yeah, everyone, I forgot to tell you to post where you're from because Joy and
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
And,
It's so much fun.
Annie, you made our night because we love to know how far
Yeah.
our followers are. And then we have Brandy that says, amazing people. We just adopted 2 tricolor mini laps. Michael was great at helping us get the correct food, hay, plus toys and all that stuff. The lady at the desk was super sweet. We joined on Saturday.
Thank you.
You will not be disappointed. And
We-
Michael,
Yeah.
again, Michael is like my child, even though he's not my biological child.
Yeah.
I love Michael. You got a great helper
Yes,
there.
someone to help you. And really, all of our members, we really consider our members family. I mean, this is, this, when we, when you adopt from us, I'm kind of stuttering here. It's not like, here's your pet, go away.
Right, no.
We want to be here for you.
Yes.
Answer questions or get, your supplies, for boarding. All of these different things, we want to make sure that it's a great experience for
Yeah.
not only the humans, but the bunny. We want everything to be good.
And it is. This is, if you ever hear me at, saying stuff, I always say, and my grandkids will say, oh, is that from your bunny family, Grandma? Because I always say my bunny family, because that's what everyone is here to me. So like today, I had a member call me and we were on the phone for an hour and 15 minutes because he had some issues. Like I said, that's what we do. That's what we're here for. And we worked through his issues and that was that.
Right, our adoption. We've been in St. Louis for 24 years, and we have people who are on a second or third adoption with us. Yeah,
This will be his
and it's just
third. His third.
And just and volunteers. We've had. How long have you been volunteering?
This is my 20th or 21st.
Yeah.
I came
No,
a year
no
after you
cords.
moved in your house you're in now.
Okay.
So however, my daughter was just starting the 5th grade and she's 29, if that tells you anything.
So, yeah, this one. So people here, to come. We want them to stay. This is family. This is bunny family.
It is.
So, all right.
That's
If you
what
have questions, send them in to us. We'll be happy to answer them.
I always go back and finish
Yeah.
answering questions. So keep dropping them in the comments and we'll take care of you.
Yep. Okay.
Until we see you next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
You have a great week and we'll
And-
talk to you guys later.
Bye.